Thank you for joining today's webinar, How to Get Started on TikTok Advertising. Today, we will go over the common mistakes that new advertisers make and how to avoid them to improve your outreach. We have a lot to get through, so let's save questions for the end. Be sure to ask them to our moderator, and we'll get to them at the end. To kick this off, I'll introduce myself. I'm Ken, the co-founder of Machine Pixel. Machine Pixel is proud to be amongst the first agency partners on TikTok. I was recruited for tennis at Stanford, where I began my marketing career. As the financial officer of Stanford Marketing Group, we ran one of the first ever AdWords competitions. Since then, I've audited over 50 paid media programs for mobile gaming, B2B SaaS, e-commerce, and more. I'm also an avid poker player who used to play 12 tables of high-stakes online poker at the same time. I used analytic tools where I arbitraged opponents purely based on the frequency that they would play their hands. These skills translated really well into marketing analytics. Now I call, raise, or fold ads based on return on ad spend, click-through rates, and other engagement metrics. On the agenda today, we'll go through why you want to advertise on TikTok, the top mistakes to avoid, and how you can get quick started with Machine Pixel. So why TikTok? TikTok has experienced rapid and booming growth, especially during these times. Users are at home and looking for comforting content to consume, and TikTok delivers. With over 315 million downloads in Q1, it's the most downloaded app ever in a quarter. Who wouldn't want to advertise here? Despite its huge growth, their advertising platform is still in its infant stages. While there are a few big players on TikTok, Walmart, Chipotle, and Apple to name a few, you will definitely be among the first in your category to be advertising on TikTok. And if you had any issues trying to get into the self-serve platform, Machine Pixel can solve that for you by expediting your account creation through our agency portal. No more waiting 3 months to get started on TikTok. We are typically able to create new accounts in 1 to 2 business days. TikTok is the best way to reach Gen Z, as users are often exclusive here. The chart on the left illustrates the percentage of unduplicated users. This means that 26% of TikTok users are not on Snapchat, a little less than half of the users are not on Instagram or Facebook, and 72% of users are not on Twitter. At first, these numbers may be surprising, but it makes sense. I remember in college, Facebook was the new it thing, but now the average age on Facebook has increased exponentially. TikTok is the new hit platform for Gen Z. We saw what happened to Facebook, and I expect the average age on TikTok to increase as it becomes more popular among millennials. On the right, we can see what the current breakdown is. Anecdotally speaking, we think of TikTokers as a Gen Zer on an iPhone. The data does confirm that. However, what this data also shows is that almost a quarter of TikTok users are actually above the age of 35, a significant percentage. This illustrates the idea that TikTok will become more popular amongst millennials. Okay, let's get into the common mistakes that advertisers make. Mistake number 1 is not committing to the TikTok audience. Advertising on TikTok is about having the right mindset and creating content. TikTok is for forward-thinking, trendy advertisers. If you're willing to adapt to this platform, your brand will get a lot of exposure cheaper than on Facebook. Looking at this list of brands that advertise on TikTok, we see a lot of advertisers in health, beauty, fashion, and fitness. Sephora, Curology, and Guess, to name a few. While Gen Z may not be the main audience for Sephora or Guess, they've assimilated to the TikTok flavor and have generated content that vibes with the TikTok user to generate awareness and purchases. Mobile apps, games, and digital products have also thrived on TikTok. TikTok has created a seamless referral funnel for mobile apps and games. Fortnite, Jam City, Sleeper, and Calm are just a few of the players that have found their way to TikTok and are inundating our For You pages. Mobile games are especially able to stimulate the experience of their games with full screen immersion. Mistake number 2 is not allocating enough budget on TikTok. A common myth is that if I have enough budgeted for media costs, I can start running ads. However, there are additional costs to make video creatives, a mobile conversion-friendly funnel, campaign management, tagging implementation, tracking, reporting, and attribution. Partnering with Machine Pixel will allow us to handle the additional efforts and get your TikTok ads started smoothly. Mistake number 3 is treating TikTok like Facebook. First off, the bidding algorithm and spending patterns are different. Cost per click is typically 30% cheaper than Facebook, making it an ideal way to deliver your brand message. Facebook will spend your entire daily budget for your campaigns almost every time. On TikTok, only your best ads will take off. If your ad doesn't hit engagement standards, it will stop running. Because of this, advertisers need to be comfortable spending $200 a day in order to run a successful test over a 2-week period. The format and flavor of the ads are also different. On Facebook, you often get away with static, sometimes boring images to sell your product. On TikTok, you must use vertical, full-screen videos with sound or music. The content must hit hard and fast. There needs to be limited buildup to make your point. As such, TikTok is often a more behind-the-scenes feel, integrating trends and pop culture, while Facebook and Instagram are more about curated content. Let's go into some examples. Let's take a look at Kroger's and NYX's ads. For those of you that don't know, Kroger is a grocery store and NYX is a cosmetic brand. Starting with the boring static Facebook images. If you attempt to just resize your videos or images that were made for Facebook to TikTok, you will fail. Now, let's check out some of the TikTok ads. 1 second. Cool. Now let's take a look at NYX's ad.
All right, everybody, we got a fun brow workout today. Grab your tools and follow my lead. Shape it. Work it. Fine. All right, everybody, we got a...
Cool. So these two ads had 4 things in common: uplifting music, a to-the-point how-to video, a popular influencer, and a popular hashtag to increase exposure. In case you missed it, the hashtags were Cook With Me and Brow Fitness. Cook With Me has over 250 million views, and Brow Fitness has 2.7 billion views. This is the recipe for success. Let me explain how we would go about starting your campaigns. The first 30 days would be our setup period. This can last 2 to 4 weeks and will consist of video brainstorming and creation, account creation, tracking, and implementation. We aim to get ads started by day 30. In the next 30 days, we will run our first sprint to find the first set of winners and continuously optimize to find the correct targeting and content combinations. If we haven't done it yet, in the next 30 days, we run a hashtag challenge and reallocate budget based on our campaign performance over the last 60 days. We work with all of our clients with a fully transparent and customizable dashboard that will be your one-stop shop for everything TikTok. We will collaborate on ad copy ideas, video projects, and deliver reporting through this dashboard. If you'd like to be set up with a customized dashboard and get a more in-depth walkthrough for your brand, please reach out. So that concludes the first part of our webinar here. Are there any questions? So one of the frequently asked questions that I do get is about the future of TikTok. And while the future of TikTok is unclear, the impact is everlasting. Whether or not TikTok survives, it's clear that the platform method resonates with Gen Z. And Facebook and Instagram are already creating features that replicate TikTok style. There's no downside in getting a head start. Let's see, okay. Going to, all right, who will create the content for the ad? So we work with different brands. We work with their design teams. We also have our own personal design team. It depends on the design needs that you have. We typically like working with the designers on your team so that we can get a look at what you've done on Facebook and Instagram in the past. And then we would repurpose that content to fit the TikTok flavor. So to answer that question, we have a full design studio, but we can work with your team to figure out what works best for you. I think the second question by Ray Them, I think, was a similar question. Let's see. So Brandy has a question here. How long should video ads be? And I think the sweet spot is about 15 seconds. You can have up to 60 seconds, but typically shorter ones, definitely like between 5, I would say 8 to 20 seconds is the sweet spot. So let's see. Rave M has another question here. How do you select an influencer for the video? So there are marketplaces where we can go and hire influencers. You can also contact them through their business emails or different ways. And it's a different negotiation process for different influencers. But yeah, we'll help you with that negotiation process and also try to find an influencer that fits your brand. So Rave M has another question about needing to submit videos. We can create the videos for you. It's always easier to work off of something that you've already created because we want to make sure that we're fitting with your brand voice and your brand message. And all of this will be completed and done within the first 30 days that we're working together. And obviously video brainstorms, content creation is integral to our implementation process. Cool. So I'm gonna wait a little bit. Does anyone else have any more questions that haven't been answered? I think another common question that I have is, how much money should you be spending on TikTok? There you go. How much you should be spending on TikTok, and that really depends on what your goals are. I had a benchmark of minimum 200-ish a day on average. So if we're looking at a 2-week test, then that'd be like 1,400 for 2 weeks. So we're looking at 3,000-ish minimum per month if you want to get started. Yeah, Rave M has a question for how much does everything cost? So we charge by percentage of ad spend, and based on the level of services that you would need, we would talk to you about that afterwards. If you're interested in getting a demo or getting your own dashboard created, definitely reach out and we can take this conversation offline. Cool. So Tim Cantata has a question, are there average CPMs on TikTok, or how is advertising effectiveness measured on TikTok. So there are different ways that you can bid. You can either pay per click or you can pay per different conversion events. There currently is not a revenue revenue tracking. However, we can track how many purchases there are. And so if you have a Shopify store or Google Analytics, we can triangulate that data for you. So to answer this, it's very much similar to Facebook in the different conversion points, but they focus heavily on bidding on price per click and price per specific conversion. Cool. So does anyone else have any more questions? I'm just gonna wait a few more minutes. But if not, then you guys can get your time back. Really appreciate you guys joining us for this webinar. Let's see. Okay, here's another question. What is the okay. So Tim's question is, what's the threshold of subscribers to qualify as a TikTok influencer? I think that's a great question. That really depends on what your product is for and what demographic and what area you're looking for. For instance, I have a client that does stationery, and we have some influencers with like 50,000 followers who are already creating their own original content without us having reached out to them yet as an influencer. And so that actually worked really, really well for us. 50,000 is typically not a huge number, but because influencers of with a different number of followers will cost you different prices. But yeah, it really depends on what your product is and what you're going for. So for instance, like if you were going for a local restaurant in Los Angeles, then you would be better off with an influencer with fewer overall followers, but more followers within your region. I think for big brands, they're able to get the big money type influencers, but that doesn't necessarily guarantee that you're going to go viral. Brandy has a question about how targeting works, and if you can target by keywords or interest, or is our reach limited to who follows the influencer? So there's actually a separate ads platform. Your influencer will create the post and post it on her TikTok, his or her TikTok, but we will also be sending it through the ads platform so that it gets on the For You pages of your targeted audience. So the targeting is similar to Facebook. There aren't keywords, but there are different hashtags that you can target. So, FYP is the For You page, or various challenges such as, hashtag sunglass challenge, hashtag, brow fitness like we saw earlier. The hashtag helps you with the targeting and will allow people to be able to search the content of your ad. There are also interests on there. You can target users by interest in like beauty, education, sports. There's a pretty robust list of different interests that you can target. So Tim Cantata has a great question. Can a client predetermine ad spend like Facebook's dollar per day limit? And the answer is yes. There are two strategies in terms of daily budget. One of them is to cap it at like, let's say 200 or 300. Another one that TikTok has is for infinite budget on a day. And that is really what's gonna help you go viral. And it's not the easiest to get an ad to go viral though. You're gonna have a lot of ads that don't perform that well. But unlike on Facebook, where it's going to spend all your money, your ads actually just won't run here. So yeah, I typically like to schedule things for 2 weeks. We can do 1 week sprints or 2 week sprints. The way I create campaigns is we want to come up with a specific CTA, a specific product maybe that you want to test. And we want to try to run that test for like 7 days. And I like to set a 7-day limit for how much we would spend. But if you wanted to have a cap on a daily spend, we could do that for you as well. So Brandy has another question here. It says, we have a cosmetic line. Would you recommend putting together short video tutorials? And the answer is definitely yes. I think cosmetics are perfect for influencer marketing. Some pretty popular videos are unboxing and how-to videos. Those seem to do really well on TikTok. And cosmetics is definitely one of the verticals that I've done particularly well. Cool. Keep these questions coming. These are great questions. And if you feel like you want some follow-up on some of the questions that I've answered, definitely feel free to email me, ken@machinepixel.com. I look forward to getting your feedback and hopefully working with some of you in the future. I'm still just going to give it a few more minutes to see if you guys have any last